Welcome back to Leeds Lately for the live watch-along of Leeds United versus Nottingham Forest at the City Ground in Nottingham. Thanks to everybody who has joined me so far. Of course, thank you to all of our Leeds Lately members. Karen Curtin in here at the moment as a member and all of our other non-members as well. Welcome back to the stream. Leeds United hoping to get back to winning ways after a defeat last weekend. Coming off the back of that win against West Ham. Hopefully we can get back to winning ways, get a few points on the board and get a little bit further up the table. Welcome to John Garside as well, another one of our Leeds Lately members. If you want to join Karen and John and become a Leeds Lately member, hit that join button down below and it will tell you all the details. This is the lineup for Nottingham Forest. We'll, of course, go through the lineup for Leeds United fairly soon. Of course, Sean Dyche now is the Nottingham Forest manager. And I did a tactical preview on Dyche's Forest during the week. And obviously, they've had a lot of shift around in management over the last, not very long, to be honest. From flying and getting themselves into a European position and then having the manager sacked, Espirito Santo because of disagreements with Marinakis, the owner. Then Ange Postecoglou comes in, doesn't do very well for them. Then they sack him, get Dyche in, whole new style of football yet again. Hopefully we're catching them at a time where they're not quite ready to be kind of at the top of their game yet. But Robert Wetzel coming in with the goods here. Robert Wetzel with a $20 super chat, locking in the good result now, an agonizing Dyche ball 1-0 away victory. That would be amazing, Robert, and thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate that. I'll leave that on the screen for a little bit. Thanks so much, Robert, for your continued support. So the Forest lineup is Sells in goal. Then you've got Nico Williams, Murillo, Milenkovic and Savona making up the back four. Midfield holding two of Anderson and Sangare. Then you've got Ndoye. I think Ndoye might be out on the right. Then you might have Dominguez through the middle and Gibbs White out on the left potentially. A lot of Forest fans on their lineup on Twitter were saying they're very shocked that Dominguez looks like he's going to be playing on the wing, and that is not where he plays, with then Igor Jesus up front, who's been doing well for them in the Europa League. But that's the Forest lineup under Sean Dyche. Apparently, a few Forest fans have been questioning him already, so that's not good for them, but hopefully that makes a difference for us. We'll get onto the Leeds lineup very shortly. Once again, thank you, Robert, for that $20 super chat. Really appreciate that. I imagine you'll go back to Top Fan of the Week at the bottom here on the ticker in the next game. But as it stands, let's have a little look at the way things line up in the league, because of course there were a lot of games yesterday. Sunderland drew 2-2 with Arsenal. West Ham beat Burnley 3-2. Everton beat Fulham. Wolves again lost. Wolves look very much like they're going to be cut adrift here. West Ham still, though, in 18th position. But when you have a look at it, yes, they've played one more game than us, but they're actually only 1 point behind us now. So we're only 1 point from dropping back into the relegation zone here. Leeds on 11 points. However, because a lot of teams have only played, 11 times and we've only played 10. We would go up to 13th with a victory. So at this stage of the season, wins can really mean a big shift around in the table. So if we can win this one, Forest stay 19th on 6 points, and we go up to 14th. So it would be amazing for us to get a victory in this one. I am a little bit worried though, and getting kind of more worried as the weeks go by. So we'll have to kind of see how this works. 1 second. I am going to move the lineup overlay down a little bit. Settings. Oh, that's too far. That seems about right, doesn't it? Just that it's not clashing. Welcome to Sijal, welcome to Robert, welcome to whoever else is joining us at the moment. Sijal saying, hello, Max and all fans. Haven't been able to join for a few watch-alongs. A must-win game this afternoon for me. Yeah, especially because we're catching Forest in a transitional period with a new boss. They've not been doing very well lately. Hopefully they don't turn it around against us, but then our away record has been really, really poor recently. So hopefully we get back to winning ways. Are we thinking James is still slow to fully recover, being very cautious with Nonto also out? Yeah, we'll talk about the Leeds lineup. Well, we're about 10 minutes from kickoff now, so we'll talk about the Leeds lineup, and then we'll talk about we'll come back to that and we'll go to the bench. So the starting lineup, of course, it's going to be a 4-3-3. Perry in goal, Bogle, Rodon, Biol, and Goodmanson make up an unchanged back four, and a very solid back four. What I said that we conceded 3 goals last game. What should be a good back four? Ampadu and Longstaff in the midfield. Stack comes back in for Tanaka. Aronson's still out on the right, which is contentious after a poor performance against Brighton. And then you've got Okafor out on the left wing, and Metcha actually comes in for Calvert-Lewin as well, because Calvert-Lewin has not really imparted himself well on the game of late. So Metcha comes back in. I imagine it's just going to be the same thing, really. Metcha plays, and then eventually maybe Calvert-Lewin comes on to replace him late on. I don't see Peru is just not getting any kind of look in at the moment. And for me, if you're making substitutions, you'd at least want something a bit different. So let's say that you're making a substitution and you're bringing off Metcha. Are you bringing on Calvert-Lewin because he's a very similar type of player in terms of holding the ball up, trying to play with his back to goal, but Calvert-Lewin hasn't been effective of late. So surely you try something that's a bit different, like Joel Piroux, who will drop in a little bit deeper into the number 10 role, will receive the ball and try and play passes in behind rather than going onto the back line and trying to hold the ball up. So for me, I'd try something a little bit different. But for me, I just think it's going to be the same old, with Metcha coming off. Excuse me. And Calvert-Lewin coming on for him. We'll talk about the bench in a second. Chaz saying, hello everybody, stats incoming. Overall, 132 drawn, 35 lost, 36 last 5, loss, draw, loss, win. Last match in 2023 with Harrison and Sinistera scoring our last win of that season on match day 29. Thank you, Chaz, for the stats as usual. Let's have a little look at the Leeds United bench. So on the bench for Leeds, of course, like I think it was Robert that alluded to it before, Nonto still doesn't make the bench, but the bench for today's game is Carl Darlow, James Justin, Pascal Strauk, Ilya Gruev, Altanaka, Jack Harrison, Dan James, Joel Piroux, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Of course, there is Dan James to come on, which could make a big difference in a game like this. But why is he not starting? Why is he not starting over Aronson? Because I just don't think that Aronson has been good enough. He played really well in the West Ham game against a side who were really struggling, and then that's the only time where he's played well this whole season. So for me, I'd be looking at replacing him with Dan James, especially now after it's been a couple of weeks. I can see the players in the tunnel now. Forest getting ready to come out onto the pitch here. Welcome everybody who's joining us. Welcome to Penny. And Sijal says Tanaka still on the bench. Yeah, did I say Tanaka? Yeah, Tanaka's on the bench. No, Tanaka started the last 2. Tanaka started the last 2 because of injuries to Anton Stack, who had a problem. I think he had a broken finger or a sprained wrist or something, as well as a bit of a rib injury as well, Stack. So that's why Tanaka had been starting, because Stack is Farker's number 1 in terms of that midfield role. We do look good with Tanaka, but let's see what happens today, because I've seen Stack put in some good performances as well. For who, Tim? Sound like Jeff Stelling. TJ Ray, Tim is saying One Football has a 4-1-4-1 formation going on. Is that for Leeds? Because it will be a 4-3-3 for Leeds. Oh yeah, it'll definitely be a 4-3-3. They guess at formations, but some like Leeds have played a 4-3-3 in every single game this season. Even Google's got it as a 4-1-4-1, but I don't know where they're getting that from, because yes, Ampadu sits slightly deeper than Anton Stack and Sean Longstaff, but it is 4-3-3. It's just a 4-3-3 with a holding midfielder. You've got Stack and Longstaff ahead of Ampadu, and then Aronson and Okafor should be up higher on the wings, but for some reason Google and some of the other things have got it wrong. So let's talk about the teams then. This is the Forest team now up on the screen. Sells in goal. Then you've got Williams, Murillo, Milenkovic and Savona as the back four. When we come into the midfield, you've got Elliot Anderson and Ibrahim Sangare making up the two holding roles. Dan and Doy, Morgan Gibbs-White and Dominguez make up the attacking midfield trio. And Igor Jesus is the Brazilian striker for Forest. On the bench, John Victor, Marato, Awonyi, Calamuendo, Hutchinson, Yates, Cunha, McAtee and Abbott. When it comes to the Leeds United lineup, it is Lucas Perry in goal, Jaden Bogle, Joe Rodon, Jakob Biel and Gabriel Goodmanson make up the back four. Ampadu, Longstaff and Stack are the midfield trio, with ahead of them Aronson, Okafor and Lucas Mecha. Even Sky have got us down as a 4-1-4-1. And then Mecha up front on his own. I think you just have to put at and then type their name, Robbing. And then the bench for Leeds, Darlow, Strauch, James, Calvert-Lewin, Piru, Harrison, Tanaka, Calvert-Lewin. Did I already say Calvert-Lewin? Let's have a look. Darlow, Justin, Strauch, Gruev, Tanaka, Harrison, James, Piru, Calvert-Lewin. Let me just make sure that everything is ready to go. We need to get the... Oh, if you're new here, by the way, I don't know if I've not got my screen up, so yep, it's worked. Make sure you hit that sub button if you are new around here to become part of the crew, and you can put things in the chat down below if you subscribe for over a minute. You can start chatting with the community down below. As well, make sure in the lead up to Christmas now, my Etsy store is in the link in the description down below. There are Leeds United prints, Leeds United artwork of multiple different styles down there. So there should be something for everyone. And if you want to have a look at that, that is my Etsy store in the description down below. They are designed by me for Leeds United fans. So check that out for me. That would massively help me out. Yeah, so we are now just 1 minute away from kickoff here, and it should be a game that Leeds are looking to push for a win in, even though they've got some better players than what we have in terms of their overall squad. They haven't been playing that well though of late, so yeah, let's make sure that we actually turn up today, please, Leeds. Good shout as well from Robert. Remember, sync up those feeds. Don't give up goals before I react to them. That's the one. It says it at the bottom, but thanks, Robert. It says it once every 10 minutes because the ticker thing's so slow. But it says basically, please don't shout out when the goal goes in at either end, because I won't have seen it. I'll have only seen it when I've reacted to it. There's not that much of a delay, and because I'm watching it online, there'll be a bit of a delay for me. Thanks, Penny. Birthday present from my brother. I turned 28 on Wednesday, same day as Willie Nonto, although I'm a few years older than him. So, yeah, this was a birthday present from my brother. We are now just a few seconds away from kickoff, I think. Hopefully, we'll be starting very, very soon. Looks like the players are going to take to their positions any minute now, and we should be getting underway here at the City Ground in Nottingham. Come on, Leeds. Thanks, Karen. Appreciate that. Thanks, Penny. Come on, Leeds. Let's get off to a good start. The last couple of games we've not started well. We've been slow to get out to play, like, especially against Brighton. In that first 10 minutes, anytime there was an attack, Leeds would just stand off and they would never go and put any pressure on the ball. We are just about to kick off here. 28, Robert. Just about to kick off here. Bloody hell, ref. Take your time. Sorting out something with his watch. Right, we are underway here at the City Ground. Leeds United start off with the kick-off. Here's Joe Rodon. Across now to Yacobillo. Now Joe Rodon. Yacobillo. Across to Anton Stack, who's dropped into a bit of a left-back position. Thanks, Goz. Thanks, Sijel. Here's Metcher holding the ball up well to Longstaff, who pokes it forward towards Aronson, but Milenkovic, I think, is going to be able to deal with that easily. Here's Bogle, though. And that's going to be a throw-in, though, as Anderson puts a bit of pressure on Bogle. It goes out for a Leeds United throw-in. Is Igor Jesus there coming back, but it's a foul from Rodon as he put the pressure on from behind. Yeah, they've just said it. Even if the Forest win, it still won't get them out of the bottom three because they're only on 6 points and West Ham are now on 10 after their win against Burnley yesterday. Here's Stack. Now Goodmanson. Ball down the line to Okafor. Okafor's thought he'd done well there, but his pass to Longstaff wasn't good enough. Here is Dominguez. Now Sangare. Here's Gibbs-White. Gibbs-White on the edge of the box, goes for a shot. Good save there. Good early save by Lucas Perry, but again, not really closing the player down there on the edge of the box. He had plenty of time to run there. Longstaff needs to get goal side. And he goes past Longstaff far too easily. Longstaff just kind of... Gibbs-White's always going to try and go for the goal there. Good save there from Perry, but yeah, a little bit of a worrying start. Corner kick here, taken short here from Forest. Anderson flicks it into the box, headed away by Rodon. Oh, sorry, Stack actually. Now Aronson on the break here. He needs options here. Okafor's not really helping him out as an option, and Aronson's just been tackled very easily. Oh, Aronson's done well, though, to try and nearly win the ball back there. Unlucky, though, as Sangare now pops it into the midfield here. Here's McAtee. I think it's McAtee. No, McAtee's not even starting. Whoever number 16 is for them. Oh, it's Dominguez. Sorry, it's Dominguez. He drifted inside. Anton Stack is down here. Yeah, I think he just got a hit in the mouth there from Dominguez. Yeah, I think he just took a bit of a whack in the lip there, stacking his bleeding a little bit. The graphics on Sky are a bit like dim, as if they've not, if like the opacity's turned down slightly. I don't know how to describe it, but it looks a bit odd. Here is Jayden Bogle then with a throw in. Here's Murillo. Now Milenkovic. Savona. Little lofted ball forward here. Bogle heads it away. Now Ampadu. Oh, Ampadu's been penalised there, or it's just because it's a head injury, but I don't think Ampadu did anything wrong there. It's so frustrating. Oh, you just took a ball to the face. Surely to God, when it's something like that, yeah, it hurts, but it's not life-threatening, so carry on with the game. Yeah, I mean, yes, that hurts. Of course it does. But in terms of, it's not life-threatening, so play on with the game. I didn't realise that Ange Postecoglou didn't even win a match, and Deitch hasn't won one in the Premier League yet, but he's won one in Europe. I'd like to see a bit of Peru. At least we'll know then, won't we? If it's like Peru was our top scorer last season, and yes, we've tried to replace him, but we've replaced him. Look, Joel Peru is worth 10, 15 million pounds, right? Probably still the same amount as what we paid for him. But he was our top scorer last season. He was the top scorer in the league for Swansea the season before. And we've brought in two strikers on a free and decided that they are definitely better than him, when realistically there might be a reason they're available on a free. His stack. Now Jacobillo. Like at least we can say that Joel Peru had been in scoring form, whereas the other two, you can't say that for them. Here's Jayden Bogle. Gibbs White re-enters the field. Now Anton Stack. Does well there to get the ball out wide to Aronson. Aronson looking for an option. Drops that one back off to Longstaff, who's tackled, but it is going to be a Leeds throw-in. Here's Joe Rodon now. Bringing it forward and a ball into, or tries to get the ball into Metcha, but picked off here. And now Anderson tries to play a ball forward. Here's Gibbs White. Ball out wide to Savona here. Back to Ndoye. Gives it back to Gibbs White again. That's where you need a bit of pressure on the ball from Stack, and he just makes him play it backwards there, Gibbs White to Milenkovic. Now Sangare. Back to Savona here. Ball down the line, cut out there by Anton Stack, and it's going to be a Leeds throw-in. Goodmanson then with a throw-in here. Goodmanson with a throw-in. Here's Ndoye. Gibbs White now. Aronson. Battling there in the midfield. Wins Leeds a free kick. Here's Longstaff. He's just going to leave that one for Ampadu because too many Forest players are too close to the ball. He knocks it across here to Rodon. Now Bogle. Yeah, look, Bogle looks to go forward there, but there's just not really anything on. Sean Dyche teams, obviously, you're not necessarily always playing a low block, but they do like to pack out that midfield and play a bit of a mid-block. And when he looks forward, there's not many options for him. Here's Okafor out on the left wing. He's tried to go past Milenkovic there, but been tackled. Good header by Yakabiyol. Now Ampadu plays it back to Rodon. There's a balloon on the pitch here. Here's Yakabiyol. Now Stack charging up from the left-back position. Chips a ball forward towards Mecha. Mecha's hold-up play is so much better than Calvert-Lewin. I'm calling it out now. Here's Okafor out on the left wing. Tackled, but wins a free kick, a throw-in for Leeds. Mecha seems to... Calvert-Lewin wins headers, but Mecha seems to kind of bring the ball down onto the deck and find teammates around him so much more often than what I've seen from Calvert-Lewin. I feel like Mecha's hold-up play, even though he's not quite as tall, I think he's stronger and he does more with it. This is going to be a long throw-in then. Ampadu is going to try and throw this one into the box. I don't know if he can reach that far, to be honest. I know he'll reach kind of the 6-yard box, but oh, it's bounced all the way through to Matt Sells. Yeah, Rodon couldn't get through the gap there, and here's Forrest coming forward now. Here's Williams. Now Anderson. Sangare. Sangare being harried there by Mecha, and then eventually Okafor wins the sliding challenge against Savona. Here's Milenkovic. Now Anderson. Milenkovic is going to look for a little chipped ball forwards into space here. Here's Dominguez. Yakabiyol with a good tackle there, but it is going to be a throw into... a corner, I think it might, maybe. Yeah, corner here to Forest. Let's hope that Leeds can play on the break a little bit here from this corner. We've got Milenkovic and Murillo coming up for it, though. Two players who are more than capable of getting on the end of this. So up for a Rodon or a Biyol header away. It's gone through everyone and ended up at the back post with Nico Williams. Tries to put the ball back in the box. The ball's bobbling around here. Back out to the other side. Here's Gibbs White, who tries to cross it in. Cut out there by Mecha, and it's going to be another corner to Forest. Here's Dominguez then with another corner. Ball comes in towards the edge of the box. Shot from distance. Oh my God, Perry, that is an unbelievable bit of goalkeeping. How that hasn't gone in, I do not know. A shot from the edge of the box takes a horrendous deflection, and somehow Perry makes a save and then makes a double save to punch it away. What an unbelievable save that is. I think it was offside. But Lucas Perry, that is incredible goalkeeping. Wow. It was offside in the end, but really, really good bit of goalkeeping. Here's Yakabiyol. Little chip down the line here. Win that long staff. Oh, Okafor's won the ball here. Got the ball to Aronson. Aronson, can he find Mecha? Mecha here on the edge of the box. Mecha goes to shoot! 1-0 to Leeds! Mecha from the edge of the box. Right in the bottom corner. What a finish. Leeds 1-0 up. Great bit of tenacity from Okafor to follow that ball as he just nicked it away from the defender, played it into Aronson. Aronson slots it into the path of Okafor, getting himself an assist, and Mecha, not Okafor, and Mecha just puts it right in the bottom corner from the edge of the box. Really good. Yeah, Savona just isn't alive to it there, and then really good play from Mecha to open up that space with a little step over and then just slots it in the far bottom corner. Really good from Leeds. Yeah, Okafor does so well there. Aronson just plays it into Mecha. Mecha, little step over, just buys himself that yard of space to shoot and puts it right across the face of goal in the bottom corner. Great finish. 1-0 Leeds. What a finish. Here's Okafor as Leeds charge forward again. Okafor down the left-hand side. He's got Aronson behind him. Oh, Savona's managed to get it back here. He's going to try and clear it. Only goes as far as Goodmanson, who's battling here. But he's given away a foul there, Goodmanson. Well, that's 2 goals for the season for Mecha now. He's officially doubled his tally. Scored in the first game of the season. And now he's scored in the 11th game of the season. Here's Elliot Anderson. One second, I'm just going to have to take a bag of treats off the cat because she's trying to get into it. So just give me 1 second. Well, I'll wait till this plays over. Savona into Ndoye. Ndoye trying to cross the ball into the box here. Gets it in. Perry with a good save. 1-1. Sangare, 1-1. So easy. So easy, innit? Come on. Come on. Igor Jesus wins the header, then Goodmanson and Ampadu between them can't take the ball off Ndoye. And then the cross into the box. Yeah, Perry parries it right into the path of Sangare. Yeah, Perry's just parried it right into Sangare's path. No way to get on the end of that. Right, let me just take this bag off her. Sorry, I was muted. Very frustrating to concede again straight away. Ndoye just cut inside there and took a shot, but he dragged it near post, and Perry had it covered the whole time. I was muted, that's why. Sorry about that. Here's Jakob Bijol. Bijol chips that one forwards towards Mecha, but it doesn't get to him. That's been headed by Milenkovic all the way back to Perry. Here's Perry then. Bijol plays the ball down the line here towards Mecha. Well, he's done well there, though. It's going to be a goal kick here to Forest. Yeah, I think Perry, he's parried it into the wrong area, hasn't he? That's your issue. It was one long ball forward. Igor Jesus wins the header. Bijol probably should have tried to win that header, and he didn't. Ampadu and Goodmanson not good enough to stop the cross. Perry parries it right out into Sangare, and then there's also nobody marking them. They might be in again here. Here's Igor Jesus. Wow. Might have been Ndoye there, not Igor Jesus, but he shot and Perry saved it, but it just kind of, it went through Perry. It nutmegged him and then just kind of dropped on the ground. Very lucky that he didn't spill that into his own net there. Here's Goodmanson. Now Ampadu. Back to Perry. Now Jacobillo. Could you imagine telling Leeds and Forest fans in the 70s or 80s that this is where we'd be in a relegation scrap game against each other in 2025? Cleared away there by Rodon. Aronson's done well to win that back. Now Longstaff. Ampadu. Back to Biol. Now Perry. Rodon. Rodon tries to clear it, but it's blocked by Igor Jesus, and it's going to be a Leeds throw-in. Bogle then with a throw-in. Silver everyone over the way to the halfway line for Milenkovic. Just going to play it all the way back to Sells here. Here's Milenkovic now. Ball out to the left-hand side here for Nico Williams. Tries to cross it in. Bogle's blocked that. Now Aronson's tried to break away and been pulled down there by Nico Williams. Surely that should be a yellow card stopping a counter-attack. Here's Rodon. Now Stack with a bit of room to carry the ball forward to halfway. Goodmanson gives it back to Stack again. Here's Stack carrying the ball. Feels like he was fouled there and he's gone down there, Stack, and it's going to be a free kick to Leeds. Ampadu. Now Longstaff. Biol with the ball out wide to Goodmanson. Dropped back off again to the halfway line. Ampadu now. See, the thing that worries me is in 20 minutes, our one chance was because we nicked the ball off them, if you get what I mean. Like, we didn't manufacture that chance. It was we pressed the ball, won it back, and had a shot and scored. But in terms of actual chance creation, we haven't really made anything yet. I don't even think we've had a corner yet. Not that I can remember. At least it wasn't a memorable one. Here's Rodon. Now Bogle. It's every time we kind of play over the halfway line. Once the centre-backs don't have it anymore and they play it into the midfield or out to the full-backs or whatever, we don't really look like we've got any options. Nobody really moves ahead of Stack. So Stack picks it up at left back and then nobody really moves. That's a good little ball out wide from Jacobillo. Now Ampadu's going to go backwards again. And you just know he's going to go backwards again. Look, you don't have to always go forward, but I would prefer if we didn't always go backwards. Okafor's somebody who will always try to do something with it apart from give it away straight to. He just gave the ball away straight to Gibbs White there and then fouled him. Free kick to Forest. I did the commentator's curse then on Okafor. Said he always likes to go forward. As soon as he went backwards, he lost it. The thing is, in terms of a physical holding midfielder, yes, Stack can play there, but I think Farke seems to think that his contributions are better placed being a box-to-box number 8. Hi, Ryan, welcome. So other than that, it's only Gruev, really. Yes, you can play Tanaka in a holding role, but he's more of a very kind of keep the ball moving midfielder, keep it tight, keep the ball moving. You haven't really got anyone that can replace Ampadu who will play the ball forward. So Ampadu's kind of what you're stuck with. Here's Yakabiyol now. Now Lucas Perry plays the ball to Rodon. Rodon can carry the ball forwards here a little bit. Into Aronson. Aronson just loses out there. It was just unlucky. Ball out wide here to Gibbs White. There's Forest players in the box, but Leeds have got plenty back. Deflection there takes it to Anton Stack, who can clear it towards Lucas Mecha. Mecha trying to hold the ball up over. He's done well there, Mecha, but he thought he was pulled down by Milenkovic, but nothing given. Dominguez tries to roll the ball through there to Gibbs White, but it rolls all the way through to Perry in the end. Here's Joe Rodon. Now Beal. Yeah, but you're just assuming that, Clive. You don't actually know that. Here's Rodon. Now Perry. Yakabiyol. Just, you can see that our players, when they're on the ball, are looking up for an option and literally putting their arms in the air like no one's moving for me. And then they turn around, look, no one's moving for them still, and they have to just turn around and go backwards in the end. Cleared by Savona there. Bogle going to try and win that header. He does. Here's Aronson. Does well to hold that ball up and give it to Longstaff, who just, I don't know. Bogle wanted it to feet. Longstaff put it down the line. The ball just went out of play. Another goal's gone in somewhere else. I think it's Newcastle. Harvey Barnes there with a very good goal. Assist by Voltemada. Rodon with a good tackle there. Now Ampadu's lost the ball. Now Stack's won it back, and it's going to be a free kick to Forest. God knows. No, Jesus plays for them, Goz. Ampadu's now gone down, holding his leg. Ooh. Yeah, he's got a cut on his knee and it's bleeding. That wasn't it. They just tried to yeah, his knee's cut open here and bleeding. Yeah, Buendia scored against Bournemouth. Yeah, I know, I was joking, Goz. That was a free kick, Buendia. Direct free kick from Buendia. Really good finish. Yeah, Ampadu's. They showed a replay, but it was the wrong replay. That's not where he picked up the injury. But he's got a chunk out of his knee and he's bleeding. Gruev getting warmed up. Yeah, Gruev's getting his kit on just in case, I think. The thing is, Andy, we've played. We're not playing as bad as we did against Brighton, but then maybe that's because we're playing against an opposition who aren't as good, especially at the moment. And we just don't look like we know what to do with the ball when we have it. That's the issue. We don't look like we know what to do with the ball when we've got it. The amount of times that we have it with the two centre-backs, they pass it to each other, they pass it to a full-back, and they look up and there's just nothing on. That's not the foul. I don't understand why they keep playing the wrong replay. That's not where he picked up that injury. It can't be, because there's not, like, you couldn't see anything. There was no contact on his knee. It's a really good finish from Mecha early, but it's just so frustrating that we go and concede, like, instantly. Yeah, really disappointing to concede that fast after scoring. So Ampadu taking himself off the pitch for now. He's had a lot of Vaseline applied and stuff to stop the bleeding, but we'll see whether he comes on again. I imagine he's just going to come on again after 30 seconds and we'll see. Here's Dominguez, now Murillo. Good little leave by Elliot Anderson, gets the ball there to Williams. Here's Sangare. Now Gibbs White turns on it, looking forward here. You can just kind of see that there's a lot more purpose when they come forward with the ball. Here's Mecha now. Ampadu has just been allowed to re-enter the pitch. Mecha's lost the ball there. And now they might try to come back towards us. They just seem to have more purpose about them when they come forward. Now Dominguez. Now Sangare. Up to the other wing here for Savona. Ball inside. Ndoye tries to play. Gibbs White tries to play a first time ball down the line for Ndoye, and it goes out for a Leeds goal kick. Here's Ampadu. Now Goodmanson. Goodmanson charges inside. That's a yellow card, if ever I've seen one for Sangare. And it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating because as soon as Leeds actually get the bit between their teeth and start to charge forward, they just trip us up and get a yellow card. It really annoys me that. Yes, both teams do it. Yes, all teams do it. But look, Goodmanson actually gets the ball, carries it into the midfield, looks like Leeds are on the break, and he just gets tripped from behind. It's so frustrating to watch. So free kick to Leeds then, over on the left-hand side, in line with the edge of the box from about just inside the half. Tries to play it towards the back post. It's going to be a Leeds corner, first one of the game. Nope, they've given a goal kick. Typical. Oh my God, it's a Leeds corner all day. It doesn't come off Rodon. Who's the co-commentator on Sky, by the way? He's the one that he was always our commentator in the Championship, but he's literally just lied. Ampadu just hoofs it really there. Aronson. Oh, Nico Williams has taken it off him. Anderson with the ball towards the back post. Headed by Gibbs White, but only out for a Leeds goal kick. Here is Jacobillo. Ball to Joe Rodon. Joe Rodon carries it towards the halfway line. It's just it looks like a ball with intent, but it's just misplaced. Ball down the line here for Dominguez. Sorry for Igor Jesus. Really good tackle by Jacobillo there. Good sliding challenge there. So throw in now to Forest here, over on the left-hand side. Nico Williams then with the throw in. Headed away by Bogle and then cleared by Metcher. But, of course, that means there's nobody up when the ball's cleared. Here's Murillo. Another long ball forward from Forest. See, they put long balls forward with accuracy and intent, and it means that they're just instantly in the final third. Here's a cross into the box by Savona. Headed. Leeds goal kick. We flew out the blocks against Everton, didn't we, Shrewy? We absolutely flew out the blocks. We put them under pressure in every situation, and they really had to think about what they were doing. Against Forest, who are a side who are low on confidence, if you do go at them, like, yeah, don't be stupid about it and leave massive gaps at the back, but you still need to put a bit of pressure on the back line so that they stop playing those long balls over the top. Here's Jacobillo. Now Stack. I wonder if our season's going differently if we don't get pumped 5-0 by Arsenal. If we'd have had a kinder second game, I wonder if we'd have been in a better position by now. Biol with the ball forward, headed away, but picked up by Okafor and now Longstaff. Now Stack's touch is heavy, but Leeds are still going to maintain possession here because here's Okafor. Okafor spreads that one out wide to Bogle on the opposite side. Bogle tackled there, and if he'd have kept on his feet, would have gone and been able to get it back. Here's Elliot Anderson. See, somebody needs to just pressure him before because he's their best ball-playing midfielder, and you need to put pressure on him before he gets those balls in. Rodon's done really well to combat him there, though. Now Rodon eventually clears it. Well done, Rodon. Here's Sangare. Now Gibbs White. Now Nico Williams. Murillo. Another good ball down the line where Leeds just aren't cutting these passes out. Aronson's done really well to win the ball back, but he's got no help. He's just going to lose the ball again because there's nobody there to help him. That's going to be a Leeds goal kick. Yeah, that performance against Arsenal from us was one of the worst performances I've ever seen Leeds put in. He's Joe Rodon. The thing is, in other games, we seem to be able to actually create quite a lot of chances, but just not finish them. Whereas in this game, we've created one chance and scored it, which is almost more worrying. Long ball forward from Perry. Okafor putting pressure on the goalkeeper here, who just hoofs it long. Jacoby does well there to get that one back to Goodmanson, who plays it back to Perry. And now Perry clears it towards Metcher. Yeah, look, at the moment, all we've really heard is that Leeds might be going and getting Harry Wilson in January. Does that save our season? No, it bloody doesn't. Another goal at Villa. Amadou Onana scored from outside the box. Two very good goals from Villa. Free kick and a shot from outside the box. Here's Milenkovic, now Murillo. That ball forward is poor and it's going to go all the way out for a Leeds goal kick. Oh, apparently it's not a goal kick, it's a corner kick. Aronson and Longstaff were trying to say that that wasn't a corner. Ball comes in from the corner, headed away by Anton Stack, and now Okafor trying to carry it forward. Okafor wiped out by Murillo. That's a yellow card for Murillo. Typical Deitch team. Yeah, Okafor just tries to carry the ball away and just gets wiped out by Murillo. I hate that when you're on a counter-attack and someone just wipes you out and it's just like it was... At least he's on a yellow card for the rest of the game, though, so we should be trying to run at him because his game is very physical. It's a long ball forward from Leeds there, but it's aimless. And it's just bouncing all the way through to Sells. We need to change something. I think... Brendan Aronson is nowhere near physical enough for this game. There's been a few times where he's got himself into good positions to try and carry the ball, but he just gets bullied off it so often. And he needs, well, it needs to be somebody else, really. Apparently, looks like Jacobiol was holding... Looks like Biel might have been holding Igor Jesus all the way into the box there until he fell over, so hopefully VAR don't overturn that. Aronson's doing too much in his own half. Losing the ball. It's flicked out to the wing here for Dominguez. Header away by Biel. Now Okafor. Okafor's still going here, carrying the ball forward. Sangare is already on a yellow card. Now Goodmanson. Oh, Leeds have got the ball back after a slip there by Milenkovic, and that's a foul by Sangare there. That's a foul by Sangare there. And now he tries to play the ball through. Good tackle by Biol, but Leeds, again, a good situation, but just making nothing of it. Goodmanson with a good ball down the line to Okafor. Okafor against Milenkovic. Good ball into the path of Stack. Stack lost out on that one, and it's going to be a goal kick here. Seemed to have opened up a little bit more for Leeds in the last couple of minutes, creating a few more chances to come forward. But yeah, see, that's what I like about Okafor. He always wants to go forward. If he sees a gap, he will try to run into it because he's got the skill to keep the ball, whereas anybody else just keeps turning around and going backwards. Again, that's just a hoof from Bogle forward there. Mecha and Murillo there having a bit of a tussle off the ball. His cells. Now Milenkovic. Again, not really any pressure on him, so he can just play a long ball forward, and they're good at playing those balls forward. Leeds have to deal with it, and Biol and Goodmanson deal with it well, but here's Stack. Mecha needs to stop throwing himself to the ground all the time. He's done it 4 or 5 times now, and he's not getting anything. Hi, CB, welcome. Here's Milenkovic. Savona now. Gibbs White. Back to Igor Jesus. Tries to play it back to Savona, but headed away by Goodmanson. But again, poor pass from Ampadu. Don't moan at Longstaff Ampadu. You put it too far ahead of him. There's no way he was going to get to that. Here's Williams. Now, Gibbs White goes to shoot. Saved very easily by Lucas Perry there. There are 4 added minutes onto this first half, by the way, everybody. You should be able to see that on the screen now. Here's Jacobiel. Now Anton Stack. Little chipped ball forward. Oh, backwards, really. That's going to be a free kick to Leeds. First half shots, most in the Premier League this season. Leeds. Forest, 10 against Leeds in the first half. Out of any game. Out of any Forest game, I think. Leeds have had 1 shot, 1 on target, and 1 goal. They've had 10 shots, 4 on target. Here's Stack picking up the ball now. Aronson. Aronson fouled and Leeds free kick. Aronson just goes, that's like 5 times now, ref. I can read his lips there. He's saying he's been fouled 5 times. Shout out CB, member for 25 months. Thank you so much for your continued support. Longstaff, the only one, kind of stood over this. If Longstaff's taking it, that I assume it's not going to be a direct shot. I mean, it's quite far out anyway, so if he can clip it towards the back post and get a header on it, then Aronson's gone next to him and he's telling him something, but Longstaff. Oh my God, he's passed it to the bloody man in the wall. Good tackle by Longstaff on the sliding tackle, but that's shocking. That is shocking. Come on, lad. You're playing the ball straight. You passed it to the wall. That's like something you accidentally do on FIFA when you haven't aimed your pass properly. That is absolutely shocking. Leeds trying to put a bit of pressure on at the back, but they bypass it so easily because they've got quality in those defenders. Savona with a long ball forward here towards Igor Jesus. Back to Gibbs White. Now Sangare again. Again, Murillo is just allowed to play a ball all the way out to the left wing. Here's Nico Williams, who goes for a cross. Away by Anton Stack. Again, because Leeds are trying to sit back like that when they do get attacked, there's nobody forward when they clear the ball. You've got to have somebody there to hold it up for anybody who might be coming at it. Here's Aronson. Again, just loses the ball. Come on, let's swap Aronson. Now Longstaff. No, Biol and Rodon are still on the sides that they started on. Here's Okafor. He's looking for an option here. Now Goodmanson. Longstaff. Ampadu. Rodon can carry it forward a little bit here. Good ball out wide to Bogle. Can Bogle get a good ball in the box? No, he can get a shocking ball that's cut out right at the edge of the box, and that's half time. Shocking. Right, I'm going to quickly have a 2-minute break, and we'll be back very, very soon. Let me know what you thought of that first half and what subs we might need to make in the chat down below, and I'll be back very, very soon. Hello, I'm back. Oh, I left the timer running. Let me just change that and then we'll discuss what happened in that first half. Reset, second half, stoppage timer off. There we go. Okay, so I think we're about here. How long were we winning for? 1 minute. It was, I think it was a minute and a half. I think it was 90 seconds between the goals. Just shocking. Isn't it crazy that a man who plays football for a living can't put a decent free kick in? Do you know, I think I'm not defending him, right? I'm not defending him, but I think what's thrown him off is that Aronson came and said to him, pass it on the ground, past the wall or something like that. I don't know. He came over, said something to him, and then ran back over, and then he's been in two minds between it. Having said that, doesn't change the fact that whatever you're doing, the execution needs to be better than that, because that was absolutely shocking. How are we hanging on as even Stevens? Leeds have had one shot, one on target, one goal. They've had 10 shots, 4 on target, and 1 goal. Hopefully Dan James comes on. I agree with this. Daz Payne saying paid to kick a football and most Leeds players cannot do it. It's poor. The quality is poor. I fear we are getting worse. Where is the fight and passion in this team? Look, Okafor is the one for me who looks like he actually carries the ball forward. He gets the ball, he looks up, he tries to do something with it, but yeah. There you go. A vicious circle as well is the other one, CB. A win will bring confidence, but we need confidence to get a win, and we can't do either at the moment. Our players need to show some bottle and get stuck in, play with pride. There's a certain element of kind of like any time Leeds try to go forward and there's no options, we kind of give up at points and we get knocked over and we just kind of turn around and go backwards, and we just need to have a bit of get up and go. Tim said we need a striker, creative forward, and a ball playing midfielder, or a forward playing midfielder. Yeah, I was just saying before, CB, I think before you joined, that my brother got it for me for my birthday on Wednesday. This team needs the pace and football brain of a Nonto or Ramazani. Instead, we've got Aronson and Harrison. Exactly. If you've got this game, if you've got Dan James and Wilfred Nonto to bring on off the bench, it looks a bit different, doesn't it? And you think, well, they could make a difference. They could do something. But when you bring in on Harrison, it's like, come on. Goodmanson, Aronson, and Ampadu for me losing possession. I agree on Aronson and Ampadu, but I think that Goodmanson has been one of the only players who's trying to push forward. And yes, he loses the ball a little bit, but he's trying to get us up the pitch at least. White Swan saying Metcha scored. That's good news. Yeah, and the thing is as well, yes, we need a new striker. We definitely need a more potent striker. But what I will say is that that's clearly not been our issue in this game. That's clearly not been the issue in this game. The issue in this game has been that we haven't defended in a way where we're actually putting any pressure on the ball. Again, which is what happened against Brighton. Their two centre-backs are very good at playing forward balls. Milenkovic and Murillo are very good at playing forward balls, and we aren't putting any pressure on them to be able to stop them doing that. And they're playing good balls forward, and it's getting them into areas, which is why they've had so many shots. But for us, it's not been our problem, has it, the scoring of the goal, because we had one shot, one goal. Metch has done his job perfectly so far, and his hold-up play has been good as well. But for me, we need to be creating more chances for him. And at the moment, we've created one chance, and it wasn't something that we manufactured. It was it wasn't something that we manufactured. It was the fact that we won the ball back on a bit of a press. You could say a little bit lucky. So yeah, let's have a look at maybe creating some more for him in that second half. Yeah, it looked like it was a bit of not a confidence thing, an impact thing where he just got a slice to his knee and it needed to stop the bleeding and put a bit of Vaseline on it and stuff, stop it getting infected and things like that. Moving to two up front, making it difficult for us to move out from the back too, Max, as was mentioned in the game's commentary. Yeah, Gibbs White pushes up. I think I mentioned this in my tactical preview that Gibbs White will essentially push up with Igor Jesus to make a second striker at times, and it stops Leeds being able to play out from the back. However, if Leeds are willing to, and I mentioned this in the tactical preview as well, if Leeds are willing to go long but accurately and actually get players in and around Metcher, then you've got much more of a chance of holding the ball and not losing it. You bring in Okafor or maybe someone like Dan James coming on. He can go beyond Metcher so that Metcher can flick the ball on into the space behind him rather than just trying to play the ball to whoever's with his back to goal, to whoever's in front of him. So, yeah, look, we really need to start having a look at playing balls forward into attacking areas. So, yeah, it's one of those, isn't it, where at the moment you've got to have a look at you've got to have a look at what you can do to change what's happening in the game. But I think, like Farke always does, he won't make any subs at half-time. He will more try to make a tactical switch, and then at the 60th minute or so, he'll start making substitutions. Thanks, Mr. P. Appreciate that. £2 super chat from Mr. P there for a winning Leeds goal. Marching on together. I hope so. Look, at the moment, we are... The way we're playing isn't fantastic, right? There's a temptation as Leeds fans to almost count yourself out before you even are out. And I feel like that's what we're doing a little bit at the moment. I'm very negative about our play in that first half, but the only thing that really matters at the moment is that the score is 1-1 and it's level. So we are obviously then able to... We score one goal and we're ahead. So it's not like we have to come from behind or anything. We score one goal and we're ahead. So that's the positive here, that we are in the game. And if we can turn it around in any kind of fashion, we are looking at being in the lead in the game. So, yeah, let's have a look at the positive side of things. Of course, Leeds scored a good goal, which I'm very happy with. But let's have a look at making some substitutions. Thank you, CB. Oh, thank you, CB, for the £3 super chat. Thank you so much for that, CB, for a Leeds win. Marching on together. Thank you for the super chat. I really, really appreciate each and every one of you that leave super chats. They really, really help me out. Look. Nonto is not on. Nonto's not in the squad, Michael. He's not even in the matchday squad. So that's why I'm talking about bringing Dan James on. I'd like to see Nonto at some point, but at the moment, it's not going to be this week. It'll be after the international break. City Liverpool, they're all arriving at the ground. 4:30 kickoff at the moment. All we care about is Leeds United and whether Leeds United can get a victory. Leeds players and Forest players getting ready to come back out onto the pitch now. This is the Forest lineup as it stands. Sells in goal. Nico Williams, Murillo, Milenkovic and Savona make a back four for Nottingham Forest. In the holding roles, Anderson and Sangare, who both like to get quite high. And Doy, Gibbs-White and Dominguez make up an attacking midfield trio of Igor Jesus, the Brazilian striker who scored in midweek, or maybe midweek, the week before, in the Europa League for Forest. The goal scorer Sangare for them. And then, of course, the Leeds United lineup, as it stands at the moment, is Lucas Perry in goal. Bogle, Rodon, Biol and Goodmanson make up the Leeds back four. Ampadu sits in front of that with Longstaff and Stack being slightly higher. Then Aronson, Okafor and Mecha are the front three. Personally, I think a change that I wouldn't mind seeing as well is Longstaff off, Tanaka on, because I don't think that Longstaff's having a very good game at all. I don't think it's his type of game. I think you need to be... Oddly, this game, I think, in the midfield could be more about being technical and managing to release the ball quickly, play your passes quickly, release the ball, move, get it back again. I think it could be more that type of game than having to be a physical midfielder like Longstaff is. Longstaff is much more of a physical powerhouse who will try and win you the ball back, but when he's got it, he's not fantastic with the ball. As it stands, though, Leeds are heading out back onto the pitch with the same team. We're not sure on that, Shrewy, but maybe Farke's waiting until after the international break. But for me, Nonto's a player who you cannot afford to not put in the side. Ramazani as well for me. Now it's the more we see of Leeds, it's looking more and more like a silly decision. I'd much prefer bringing on Ramazani in a game than Jack Harrison. Any day of the week, I'd prefer that. We're about to kick off then for the second half here. We are underway here at the City ground for the second half, and for some reason it won't let me press the timer. There we go. We're about 3 seconds behind because it wouldn't work when I first pressed it. Here's Aronson. Now Longstaff. See, Longstaff, again, like, get him off. He's not having a good game. Nothing personal, but he needs to come off because he's just not playing well at all. Here's Murillo. Murillo gets it back off Nico Williams. Across now to Milenkovic. Murillo with the ball forward here. Okafor gets a header on it, but it's going to go out for a throw-in just by the halfway line on the Leeds side, though. Here's Savona to take it. Now Milenkovic. Anderson. Back to Murillo. Murillo back to Milenkovic. See, look, in the early stages, to me, it looks like Aronson was joining Mecha there to try and press the two centre-backs to stop them playing balls forward. They still played a good ball forward, but if they can get there a bit quicker... Well done, Aronson. He wins the ball back off Nico Williams there. Plays it down the line towards... Stack loses out to Sangare there, but Aronson's done really well there to try and win the ball back. About 3 players have gone down there in a heap, but we're still going. Here's Goodmanson. Rodon. Now Biol. Ampadu. Stack with the long ball down the line, and Okafor can't keep it in. That's odd. Okafor's not been being picked by Burak Yakin for the Swiss national team. Obviously, Dan Ndoye, who plays for Forest, is also Swiss. Wouldn't be a bad lineup, would it, having one of them on either side? Here's Gibbs White trying to play the ball forward for Ndoye. Ndoye in the box, cuts it across for Igor Jesus, and Bogle is there to block it. Well done, Bogle. Great tracking back from Bogle there. He's done really well there, Bogle, to track that run to stop Igor Jesus being able to shoot, because his shot was going to be on target. Corner, though, to Forest here. I hope Okafor stays on, because he's the one that looks like he wants to go forward. There he is, heading that corner away. I think he's been our best player, Okafor. Headed away by Rodon. Needs Nico Williams. Headed away by Stack. That's going to go out for a Forest throw in here. Leeds just look like they're kind of sitting back and defending in the opening few minutes here of the second half. Here's Savona. Now Murillo. Nico Williams, Murillo. All the way back to Sells here. Sells with the long ball forward. That's going to bounce all the way through to Lucas Perry there, who can... Well, he's not going to pick it up. He's just going to chest it down. I forgot Hudson-Odoi usually plays. He's got a dead leg and isn't in the squad. Little chipped ball forward here. Leeds still trying to come forward. Goodmanson. Nothing given, though. We're still playing here. Anton Stack's been dispossessed, and here's Ndoye. Anton Stack's won it back well, though. Still going here, Stack. Lays it to Okafor. Okafor trying to go past his man, and he's won Leeds a corner kick. I think this is our first corner of the game. I think this is our first corner of the game after 50.5 minutes. I don't think so, Shrui. I don't think much can be blamed on Jakobio. Most goals conceded from corners this season, Nottingham Forest 5, a second only to West Ham with 9. Corner comes in then. It's gone over everyone. The goalkeeper dived on the ground, but it's gone over everyone anyway, and it's now been penalised. Honestly, a goalkeeper jumps on the floor in the box from a corner, then... Yeah, well, I mean, Ampadu, what are you doing, man? Why are you just holding on to the goalkeeper? Why are you holding on to the goalkeeper? You know it's just going to get... You know it's just going to get penalised. Longstaff tries to put a ball down the line, but just kicks it into touch. Get Longstaff off. Get Aronson off. Bring on Tanaka. Bring on Dan James. I wouldn't say no to Gruev for Ampadu as well, because Ampadu's having a shocking game. That's a foul against Brendan Aronson. Hi, Ruggy. Yeah, not great. Not great. Those tiny shin pads are absolutely ridiculous. There's nothing protecting your shin at all, and big shin pads or normal size shin pads don't affect how fast you run at all. Be like the difference between saying, "Oh, I only wear short sleeves because long sleeves are going to make me run slower." It's probably about there's a difference in weight. It's ridiculous. Good ball into the box by Longstaff. Aronson's shot was sliced, but it nearly fell to a Leeds player. Now Aronson does well there to just come back and take that off the attacking Forest line. Oh, Metcha's been fouled there by Milenkovic, and he's been told to get up again, but this referee is absolutely shocking. This referee is absolutely crap. Peru and Calvert-Lewin are warming up. Here's Ampadu. Free kick to Leeds. It's going to be Yakabiyol to take it. He's just 20 or so yards outside his own penalty area. He's just giving it back to Perry. Sorry, Mr. P. Metcha's the strongest player in our squad. Metcha's really strong. He's trying to buy free kicks to get us up the pitch, but he's not weak by any stretch of the imagination. He's our strongest forward by a mile. I doubt it. He'll pick one of the two to replace Metcha. Goodmanson. Back to Ampadu. Now Longstaff. Again, we just go backwards every time. There's no attempt to play the ball. There's no trust, I think, because if someone's good enough, you're happy to play it into their feet, even if they've got players behind them, because they'll just pop it off to a teammate. Good ball by Bogle around the corner. Here's Metcha. Metcha tries to play the ball into the box, but it's just cut out there so easily. Now Dominguez plays a ball down the line here. Rodon just trying to cut off that angle for Igor Jesus. Plays it backwards. Here's Stack. Now Goodmanson. Goodmanson coming forward here. Goodmanson carrying it. Goodmanson still going here down the left-hand side. He's got Savona against him. Goodmanson still going here. Goodmanson into the box. Oh, his pass is not good enough. That would have gone straight to Okafor if not for the Forest defender. But it's so good, Goodmanson. Goodmanson's signing of the summer for us. He's ridiculous for £7 million. Yeah, he's trying to cut it into the path of Okafor, but Sangare is there to block it off. Oh, now Metcha's pulled up there, but let's get this thrown into the box and see what we can do. Goal in the Brentford-Newcastle game. Long throw in Brentford have scored from. Brentford 1, Newcastle 1. Long throw in for Leeds then. Let's get Stack a header in the near post and then get Rodon on it at the back post. Oh, it's gone over everyone. It's straight up in the air. Here's Ampadu. Back into the box. Cleared away again. Now Aronson. Bogle. Perry sends that one long. That's going to bounce all the way through to Sells. Goodmanson for £7 million is by far the most astute signing we've made. There are definitely players in this squad that have elevated the level to be a more competitive Premier League team, like Okafor, Stack, those signings, those type of signings, Goodmanson that we've made, Yakabiyol, that make us seem like a more Premier League outfit. But there's pieces of the puzzle, and arguably the two most important pieces of the puzzle are the ones that haven't been sorted. And that's someone to create chances as an attacking midfielder, and it's someone to finish them. But Mecha has better hold-up play than DCL. Some subs then for Forest. Worst signing of the season is coming on, and now I'm going to regret that because he's going to score, but I don't believe it jinxes. Amari Hutchinson from Ipswich for £38.75 million, or however much it was, is coming on for them. Sangare is coming off. Yates is coming on. And Igor Jesus is coming off, and Taiwo Awonyi is coming on. We definitely shouldn't have got Jamie Vardy, guys. We definitely shouldn't have got Jamie Vardy. Here's Murillo. Here's Rodon, who does well to get that away from Awonyi, who is a very strong number 9. Cleared by... nearly cleared, but Okafor can't get rid of it. Here's good tackle by Stack on Hutchinson, but it's another throw into them. Come on, Leeds. Another cross into the box here, headed away by Stack. Aronson's trying to get onto the end of it before Murillo can. Murillo's taken quite a heavy touch out wide and played the ball into Ndoye. Ndoye looking to cross the ball into the box. Bogle doesn't manage to stop it, headed away by Biol there, I think it was. That was a very close call. Another cross into the box, headed away by Goodmanson. That's going to be a throw into Forest. Goodmanson wins the ball again, and now Okafor can give it to Goodmanson to clear it. With the ball forward there from Stack, but only as far as Murillo, who can pick it up. Longstaff trying to press him into losing the ball there, but nothing doing. Here's Murillo again. Murillo forward. Now Hutchinson. Ball into the box here for Forest. Away by Goodmanson in the end. Okafor trying to get there ahead of Gibbs-White, but he can't. And now Nico Williams with the ball out wide to Ndoye. Here's Ndoye trying to get the ball in the box. Poor cross. It's going to be a Leeds goal kick. We're not creating anything still. We are not creating anything still. We just look like we're waiting to concede. Here's Jacobiel. Now, BL. Long ball forward here from Stack, but it's just gone out. It's gone straight into touch again. We need to make some substitutions. We need to take the initiative, actually make some substitutions, and hopefully make something happen. Because at the moment we are just waiting to concede. So do something. For me, it's Tanaka for Longstaff, Dan James for Aronson, and potentially Piru for Mecha, and maybe even Gruev for Ampadu. Now Aronson plays the ball to Ampadu. Ampadu straight out wide to Okafor here. Okafor maybe with the chance to run at the defence. Okafor going past him. Oh, he's just managed to get his body in the way there, Savona. But I don't mind Okafor losing the ball in that position. He's trying to go forward and win and get in the box. No substitutions yet. It was all Forest subs. Pretty sure anyway. I haven't seen. I have if there was a substitution. No, Metcha's still on. I can see him. Here's Rodon. Good ball from Metcha. Gets it back off Bogle again. Metcha out wide. It's not really where you want him, is it? But he has won the Leeds corner kick. It's not where you want Metcha playing, but he's at least moving to try and receive the ball. Well, Piru's gone and sat back down again from the pictures we're seeing of Farka. He's just behind him. Corner kick to Leeds then. Honestly, scoring a corner would be perfect for us. Ball into the box, out to the edge. Aronson goes for a shot. It's still bouncing up in the air. Metcha heads it, and then Sells can just come and catch it and throw it down the line here towards Dan and Doy, who can't keep it in. Thank goodness for that, because they would have been on the counter-attack there. Throw into Leeds. About on the halfway line. Bogle's asking for options. Metcha's trying to hold it up here. He's got a player pulling him back the whole time. Nico Williams there, but he's won Leeds another throw in a bit further up. Bogle again with a good throw down the line here to Metcha. That's going to be a Forest throw in there. Throwing forward here. It's going to be another throw in, this time to Ampadu / to Leeds. Bogle being told to hurry up with this throw, and after Ampadu was going to take it and then didn't. Oh. It looked like it came off the hand of Stack, but Leeds are still going here. Here's Bogle, who's now been dispossessed. Stack comes in. Foul there by Stack, apparently, but Stack and Nico Williams have both hurt themselves. There's a bit of pushing and shoving here. It's this co-com. Someone tell me who the co-commentator is. Again, he's biased against Leeds, saying that Stack was going for the man. Well, he's trying to step across him to get the ball, not step across him to hurt him. He tried to get across him to get the ball. He tries to get in front of him and shield the ball, which is fine. He's not trying to kill him, as the commentator makes out. Hinchcliffe, that's the one. Thanks, Gareth. I knew he hated Leeds. Murillo sends a long ball forward here. Again, giving them time to find Hutchinson on the opposite wing. And it's 2-1, and it's so predictable. It's so predictable. Again, you're not closing down the centre-backs who are playing long balls forward, and when you don't, they put a ball straight back across the box and score. So, what are we doing then? What are we doing if we're not closing down that person? When Milenkovic and Murillo have the ball and they look to play forward, you're not closing them down, and you're just allowing them the time to play the ball over the top of you. And they're accurate and they're good passes. And then Hutchinson just crosses the ball in. Easy for a 1-2 to just get on Sorry, it's Gibbs-White. Gibbs-White gets on the end of it. So Goodmanson goes out to try and stop the cross. He can't stop the cross. Beale's in no man's land. Beale's in absolute no man's land, and so is Rodon. And again, we hadn't made substitutions before. We hadn't made substitutions before before they scored. Like, why are we not? You can see the scales are tipping towards them being the ones that are going to score, and you need to make a substitution then before that happens. You have to make a substitution before that happens, and we're not. He's Jacobillo. We should have made substitutions in the 60th minute. When you could see that the game was tilting in their direction, you make some subs to try and change that. And we're not. We're not putting any pressure on the back line. We're not putting any pressure on the players who are playing those long balls forward. You can see that they're trying to do it every single time, and it's effective. It's either you stop it at source, or you stop it at the other end where you have better positioning. Bogle's been dispossessed by Ndoye there. He feels like he was fouled, and now Longstaff's fouled Ndoye, but they're still coming forward here with Nico Williams up against his compatriot Ampadu, who fouls him, but he's still going here, Williams. Down the line here, onside. Anderson crosses it into the box. Hutchinson with a poor touch. Here's Savona. Tries to put the ball back across the box. Goes past everyone, but arrives at the back post here. Nico Williams. Another ball into the box here. Nico Williams plays it back out wide again to Anderson. Now Williams. Yellow card for Longstaff. Make some changes, please. Jesus. I just can't believe that we've not made any subs. It's shocking because, like I said, at 1-1, you've got, okay, we didn't play very well in the first half, but you've got the opportunity to still do something with the game because you're still in it. That was a foul throw in there by Goodmanson, which it's not been given, and it rarely does get given in Premier League football, but it's shocking. That should have been a corner to Leeds as well, I think. And Leeds are saying that to the referee. Looks like it's going to be Joel Peru and Dominic Calvert-Lewin to come on, as well as Dan James. But we should have done that before. I don't understand why we take so long. Goal kick here then for Forest. Sells clears that one. Rodon loses out there against Awoniyi. Ball down the line here. Good tackle by Longstaff, but it is going to be a corner kick here to Awoniyi. It won't come on until it's after this corner, the substitutes for Leeds. Nico Williams asking someone to come short for him, but he's said he's going to go in the box. Ball in from Williams, headed away there by Metcher. Here's Anderson. Under a bit of pressure there from Metcher, who apparently has fouled him, so it's going to be a free kick to Forest on the halfway line, and now Leeds are going to make 3 substitutions. Longstaff is going to come off for Joel Piroux. Okafor's off. No, Okafor isn't off. It's Aronson that's gone off. What's this commentator on about? Yeah, I don't know what he was on about saying Okafor had gone off. Shocking commentating. That's now what we have done with the substitutions, by the way. Yeah, Okafor is on. I don't know what the commentator's on about. Murillo then with the free kick on the halfway line as he knocks it forwards. Cleared there by Dan James. Chased down by Calvert-Lewin. Long ball forward by Murillo, headed away by Ampadu. Good hold-up play from Calvert-Lewin. His Stack tries to play that forward, but it's just easily headed back to the goalkeeper by Murillo. You're missing a couple of O's there, Struy. Each 2 needs an extra one. Awoniyi, that's going to be I think it's actually offside against Awoniyi from coming back from an offside position. It's a free kick to Leeds then. Come on, if we go and get an equaliser and we build on this. I hope not, Sajal. I hope not, but if we can get a draw here. Dan James coming forward here. Oh, he's bloody Elliot Anderson's go gadget legs stuck a leg out and somehow stopped that. Rodon. Now Biol. Forrest had a player down before. I'm not sure why. Here's Bogle. Ball over the top here for Dan James. Oh, Nico Williams has fallen over there, but apparently it was a trip by Dan James. Come on. Honestly, if we can score 1 now, it will make us feel so much better going into the next game. At least we picked up a point. But you've got to be doing more in these games. Long ball forward. Ampadu's header. Joel Piroux does so well to keep the ball in, but then it's just straight back to Murillo, who knocks it forward. Rodon, headed by Ampadu. They just get the ball back every single time now. Bogle's fouled. There's so much frustration creeping in that they're just having a little nibble when there's a player backing into them. They're just having a little kick. And Doy with the ball in. Perry catches that one. Can he release someone, or is he just going to take his time? He rolls it out to Goodmanson here. Goodmanson decides not to take on the man this time and turns around looking for an option. He's Biol. Now Rodon. Intercepted that pass towards Dan James there by Doy. Bogle then with the throw in. Calvert-Lewin back to Bogle. Now Rodon. Jacoby all here. 13 minutes to make a difference here. Joel Peru, I think he's at the moment almost playing as a bloody holding midfielder. Now here is Joel Peru. Good ball back to Ampadu here. Ampadu to Dan James. Back to Ampadu, who shoots left-footed. Dan James picks it back up, though. Dan James with a shot! Good save by Sells. And then Goodmanson! Just past the post by Bogle in the end. Honestly, it's almost like playing Dan James makes a bit of a difference rather than having Aronson on. Yeah, Bogle can't redirect it. Yeah, Bogle could have finished that as well there. Sells them with the goal kick. Yeah, I don't know why Dan James is... Dan James and Okafor starting with Mecha up top. I just feel like we look better. Here's Okafor. Still going here. He's lost the ball. He could have slipped it through there. Brentford have gone in front here against Newcastle, by the way. Here's Bogle. Bogle tackled, but it's going to be a Leeds throw-in. Look, it's 3-0 to Villa. Ross Barkley scored. Pascal Struijk and Jack Harrison are ready to come on, so it seems to me like we might be going to a back three and throwing everybody forward. Ampadu with the throw-in. Here's Dan James. Shoots. It's bobbling around in the box, and eventually they clear it. Nothing ever drops for us, does it? Nothing just drops perfectly for us. Look, as soon as Dan James has come on, as soon as those substitutions were made, we've had more shots than what we probably had in the rest of the entire game. Hopefully the last 10 minutes or so is us really putting the pressure on them and them defending backs against the wall and us trying to score. Calvert-Lewin went down in the box there, but nothing doing, and now it's been cleared. Oh, Bogle. There was one-on-one there, and Bogle kicked the ball straight at Awoniyi. But he's managed to clear it in the end. Here's Rodon. Hello, Cat. Here's Goodmanson. Now Stack. Goodmanson again. Okafor. Stack. Has to go back. Now Jacoby Yol. Here's Rodon. Bogle again. Come on, Leeds. You've got 10 minutes left and you're playing it round at the back. Beal with a lofted ball forwards towards Dan James. Dan James trying to take on his man, but he can't get past Ndoye here. They're going to have to clear it, Forest. I was going to say good bring down there by Ampadu, but he's actually knocked it into touch. So a couple more substitutions for Leeds. Jacoby Yol is coming off. And Goodmanson's coming off for Harrison. He's going to play left back, I think, Harrison, and try and be an attacking threat, but he's not as much of an attacking threat as what Goodmanson is, and Goodmanson's an actual left back, not a makeshift one. Rodon can play that one back to Lucas Perry. That's going to be a throw into Leeds. I don't know what the point of changing centre backs is. Doesn't add anything really. Look, match stats since Leeds triple sub. Leeds 3 shots on target, 75% possession. I mean, there's a coincidence in the fact that they're obviously going to sit back in the last couple of minutes of a game when they're winning, but you've still got to look at the fact that Dan James has made a big difference when he's come on, especially. I don't think that Calvert-Lewin and Piru have done anything to affect that, really. Thanks, Mr. P. Really appreciate the super chat. Everyone give that a like. Here is Joel Piru. Now Joe Rodon. Out wide now to Dan James over on the right-hand side. Dan James cutting inside. Left-footed cross into the box. He's gone out for a Leeds corner kick. I mean, Nico Williams is quick, but I think Dan James might be quicker. Looks like they were thinking about a short corner there, but instead it's just going to be Harrison to come and take it, which doesn't bode well. Does not bode well, a Harrison corner. What are we thinking then? Does he curl it into touch and not go into anyone? Front post. I know it's over everyone. It's going to be another corner on the other side. Corner kick then from Anton Stack towards the penalty spot. Headed just past the post by Calvert-Lewin. It's too much of a tapped header there from Calvert-Lewin. Yeah, he's always going away from the ball and then having to try and go back against it with his header. Was never going to work, that. Another goal at Villa Bournemouth. Villa have scored again. Good tackle there from Rodon, sliding in. Forest are going to make a substitution. Not quite yet, though. At the moment, we've got Nico Williams with a throw-in up on the left wing. That's going to be left there for a Lucas Perry goal kick. Here's Jack Harrison. Given away there by Okafor. Here's a 1E in the box. And that's going to be a Leeds ball because the goalkeeper can fall on it. Nah, hits him in the chest. There were shouts for a handball then against Harrison, but there's no chance. Bogle. Ball across now to Rodon. Here is Rodon. Now Strauch. Strauch with the long ball forward towards Calvert-Lewin. Apparently that was a foul by Calvert-Lewin on Milenkovic. I don't think that Calvert-Lewin's offering anything. Morgan Gibbs-White is coming off. And Morato is coming on. Don't know who he is. Both goals, poor defending. I'm assuming he's either a central defender or a holding midfielder, Morato. Long ball forward from Sells here. Headed away by Rodon. Picked up by Elliot Anderson. Out wide here to Hutchinson. Trying to go past Jack Harrison here. Harrison, he's gone past Harrison easily. Harrison, that's a penalty to Forest. I don't think it should be. It's so soft. It's so soft. He's waited for a millimetre of contact and then just dived on the floor. Oh, I don't know about that. No! He's purposely flicked his leg out to get the contact and then jumped on the floor. Shocking. To me, he's got, like, Harrison at that point. You're not going to tackle him, so you cannot get that close to the back end of him. But Hutchinson has been the one to initiate the contact. So as he's running into the box, his back leg, he purposely moves it to the side to make sure it hits Harrison and then fall into the floor. The touch is not enough to throw him to the floor, and he wouldn't have touched him if not for that. It's been given, I think. Elliot Henderson to take then, up against Lucas Perry. I mean, it's a miracle if you save a penalty, really, isn't it? So we're expecting it to be 3-1 here. I bet I just get ready to press the button. Three one. We're conceding like 3 goals a game at the moment. Shocking. Leeds are trying to knock it back to the goalkeeper and throw everyone forward here. It's plus 9 minutes, by the way. Sorry, plus 6 minutes. Here's Ampadu. And now Harrison's been done again by Hutchinson here. Tries to foul him and can't even foul him. What is Harrison for? Why is he at the club? Why is Harrison at the club? Why would we choose Harrison over Ramazani? It doesn't matter about that stat, though. Leeds, when scoring first, we haven't lost a game since May 2023, but it was all in the Championship, so what does that matter? Yeah, we're going to be one of the best teams in the league. All of our records that we had in the Championship are going to die instantly in the Premier League, so just don't even show me that. It's annoying because we started with some good results. Anton Stack, here's Okafor. Tries to lay it back across the box, and Morelos just absolutely hoofed that. Here's Perry. Strouk with a long ball forward. Here is Strouk. Now Harrison. Okafor. Okafor with a cross into the box. Calvert-Lewin. Saved by Sells. Header from Calvert-Lewin after Okafor's cross and saved by Sells. And if Calvert-Lewin's not scoring, it hits his shoulder. It hits his shoulder. If Calvert-Lewin is not scoring from a situation like that, then what is he for? Because that is quintessentially what you want him there for. You put a ball into the box. Oh, Dan James has lost the ball as well now. You put a ball into the box like that on a plate for him and it hits him on the shoulder. He can't even get it on his head. That's not a foul from Bogle, and thank God the ref hasn't called it. Here's Joël Pirou. I'm sorry, but it's also not fair to Joël Pirou that the one time he's actually got on is you're playing him as a central midfielder. We'd have a very, very tough job. It almost might not be mathematically possible, Gareth, for us to be bottom of the table by Christmas, because Wolves are still only on 2 points. Wolves are on 2 points and we're on 11, so at the moment we are still on for a point a game. The big rivalry between Crystal Palace and Brighton's finished 0-0, has it? The big rivalry. Here's Okafor. Harrison. I don't have words for Harrison. Why would you make it look like you're making an overlapping run and then just stop? So that when a ball goes to where you should have been, you're like, oh no, I should have got that. Yeah, well, you should have done, actually. Here's Anton Stack. Now Calvert-Lewin. Ball not cleared very far. Still again not cleared very far. Joël Pirou's going to try and get it off Elliot Anderson here. He's knocked it back to Williams. Williams clears. Well, we've got 20 seconds to score 2 goals. Do you think it's going to happen? See, I think, not to call you out specifically, Tasha, but comments like this are a bit silly, aren't they, really? Because when you look at the league table, we're on 11 points. We're on 11 points and we are 16th. We're not in the relegate. We're not in the Wolves position, are we? Right at the bottom of the league. It's still a prospect where someone could do better than what's happening right now. That's it. We've lost 3-1. I don't want to listen. I don't want to look at Sean Dyche's bald head celebrating. Thanks everybody so much for joining me. Thank you to all of you who left super chats as well. I really appreciate that. Let's just, how do I stop this? Pause. Let's go back to there for the reaction. Yeah, thank you to all of you who have left super chats and everything. I really appreciate that. Leeds have lost. Hopefully we get better in the next one. Thanks for watching Leeds lately. I will do a match reaction now and talk about what we could have done better in that game. Thanks everybody so much, and I shall see you in the next one.